So this next comedian up to the stage is Rachel Tobias. Let's give a big hands for Rachel. Keep it going as she walks over here. Keep it going. Don't stop those cheers. All right. There's Rachel.
Thank you. I just got to figure out where to put my purse because I understand we all believe in property rights and people don't steal, but still, you know. Anyway, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually really introverted. And I'm introverted not because I'm shy, it's because people are stupid and I don't really want to talk to them. I mean, look, I think it's important to have friends, you know, it's important to connect. It's just the problem is other people just interrupt you with their bullshit when you're trying to commit suicide. They're selfish, is exactly what I'm trying to say. I come from a really big family. I'm one of 5 kids. It doesn't really seem to be that way anymore. And my parents had their own way of doing things, right? That's kind of like the original state. So my dad was just kind of intense up front. My dad's from the Bronx, hardcore. And he was the kind of guy like, if he used your first, middle, and last name, you knew you were fucked. Like that was the moment you're like, oh shit. And because there were 5 of us, my dad sometimes would just get so mad, he would start like cycling through names until he found the right one. He'd be like, Menachem Shir Rachel blah, blah, blah. And my mom was a little different. My mom was more of in charge of psychological operations because she wouldn't yell. She would just get really, really quiet and she'd be like, you wait till your dad gets home. And you're like, oh, fuck. Because then you just spend hours stewing thinking of like all the ways that dad was just gonna punish you. You just kind of lean into that. My mom's cool, though. I'm not trying to talk shit about my parents, even though I am. It's like, my mom, at least, I can talk to her about conspiracies. She's dope. And I'll talk to her about things. She's a boomer, so I'll talk to her about the moon landing. I'll be like, hey, Mom, do you think the moon landing actually happened? I mean, come on. She goes, well, and she's got the best answer of, like, any deep researcher I've ever heard. She goes, you know, when I question her, when I go, how come we've never been back? She'll go, well, we went and it was boring. We have the rocks and there's just no reason to. Like, she legitimately believes that. And my own personal stance is I actually don't really care about whether we've been to the moon or not. I just like upsetting people with that. That's my position. You can't fail. Like, I'll harass my boyfriend and I'll try to negotiate with him. I'll be like, okay, wait. What if the video was fake, you know, but the landing might have been real? He's like, you can't do that. Like, no, absolutely not. You know, and it's kind of funny. I tend to kind of think about other realms and other things, and someone I really enjoy is Terrence McKenna, right? You're all burned out people. You know. Terrence McKenna, who's like that dude who's super into drugs, and I thought about this. I'm like, yo, maybe the reason that, you know, other entities don't just show up here is because the only people visiting them are burned out hippies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to have conservative representation with the machine elves. That's not really happening, you know? That's probably like their impression of what exactly that they think humanity is, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so a lot of people hate Jews. And the thing is, like, when you really think about that, because there's the people that hate Jews, then there's the Jews that hate other Jews, and there's the Jews that hate themselves, which is really kind of a contradictory problem for the people that say that they're God's chosen. You know, it's kind of a bit of an issue. And it's okay. I was raised religious. I did my time, you know, and if I didn't use it, it'd be kind of a waste. It's funny because people get really upset at like Holocaust revisionists, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I mean, imagine being so fucking selfish that you want the Holocaust to be real just so you could yell at someone on the internet. That's disgusting to me. Like, that's so absurd. I do believe in freedom of speech, I do, but honestly, like, if I were in charge, there would be some things I would ban. Like, I would absolutely ban the phrase, there's a couple of phrases in the English language that just piss me off more than any swear word that you can imagine. I hate the phrase, like, I'm sorry you feel that way. That is one of the most passive-aggressive, like, disgusting things you could really make eye contact with another human being and say to them. Like, that is just one of the most horrendous things. Second to that is the phrase, and this absolutely death, jail or death, no in between. Another phrase that I absolutely hate is when people say, well, everything happens for a reason. Can we just admit the only people that say God is good are attractive people? Can we say that? Please, right? They wake up every day. There's nothing more disgusting than like a conventionally attractive person that tells you the only thing you need to do is believe in yourself. Like, fuck you, right? We know that. We know that. Awful. Anyway, so I'm visiting here from New York, and I had a friend who was gonna come visit me. And he's like, he's from the Midwest, so he's stupid. So he's like, he's never been to New York before. He's like, all right, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, here's the laydown. When you come visit New York City, you gotta bring cash. You gotta fucking bring cash. That's what you just have to do. They're into Bitcoin now, but gotta do. So he shows up, he's like, look, I got the cash. I'm like, excellent, because I don't have any. I'm fucking broke. Oh, yeah, I should have followed that up in the beginning. All right, listen, so if anything you're gonna take away from Porcfest is we can have a quick history lesson here. Like I mentioned the moon landing earlier, my own personal conception of the moon landing is that the Jews tricked the white people into thinking they went to the moon, that they then hold over the heads of brown people, and that's it. Like, that's all you really have to know. In 5 seconds. Thank you for my TED Talk. If I just dropped the mic and like that was the end of it, and you just all went home and like felt worse about yourselves. What most people don't really understand is when it comes to property rights, that concept is from the Bible. Like, most people don't get that, right? I know y'all don't have morals and don't read. But if you do read it, you realize God specifically told Adam and Eve not to eat his fruit, right? And if you think about it, you're like, it's an apple, big deal. But it doesn't matter. It's like, that's about property rights, right? You're like, it doesn't matter that it's a fucking apple. It's his. That's it. Let me see. Bing. I cover this in all my time. I covered the Jew hating. We did that. Like, I should have done that. I should have just opened with that and just kind of seen where that goes. No, I was raised religious, and I really did my time. And like, what bothers me so much about it is like later in life, you know, it took me a while to reconcile with my family. And I remember talking to my mom, and she said to me, you know, when I was little, I also hated going to Hebrew classes. Like, I would run away. You know, your grandma would have to find me. I'm like, Mom, if you hated learning all this stuff, why would you make us do it? And she looked me right in the eye. She's like, well, now that you're an adult, you don't have to. I'm like, you can't do that. You can't, no. That's not allowed. And my dad, like, listen, I've tried to do the libertarian thing where I have like a 10-page paper on why we're probably from the descendants from the Khazar Empire, and I was like, all right, if I just presented all this factual information and explained to them that we have white skin and stuff, they will surely agree with me. If I were to just present all the facts as to why we're not directly from the tribe of Israel, and suffice to say, I don't think that they handled it well, but I'm sure that if I were to come up with another 10 pages of facts, perhaps I could change their minds. Well, my dad, I don't know. I had like a dumb 5-hour conversation with him as to like how the Federal Reserve works. This is like pre-2020, how the Federal Reserve works and how it's like all bullshit, funny money. And he's like, we're not on the gold standard. I'm like, oh, we're so fucked, you guys. We're so fucked. Like, no one else is gonna tell you this. They're gonna sell you hopium and boner pills, but like, we're fucked. Like, don't tell anyone. I want to ruin it for you, but I don't want you to ruin it for other people. Do you understand where you are in this ecosystem? Okay. And I only got a couple minutes here. Listen, I love my parents, and like I said, my dad's very intense. I still try to talk to him. I'll be like, Dad. My dad's just highly inappropriate about nothing. He takes everything to a 10. I'll be like, how are you? He's like, well, traffic was a bloodbath today. Absolutely murderous. He's like, Jesus, calm down. And then I'll ask him, like, how are my sister's kids? He'll be like, they're not good. They're great. I'm like, you can't do that. You know that, right? Like, you can't pause like that. It's horrendous. And I'll ask, like, how's grandma doing? He's like, well, If it wasn't for us, she'd be dead in the water. He just uses like Vietnam terminology. He's never been to war in his life, but he just insists on using Vietnam terminology. Like if he were to actually try to go to war, they would try to like lock him in a mailroom or something and be like, just do that. He would ruin it for people. That's all he does. But anyway, all right. You've been absolutely great. We've covered everything. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Rachel, everybody. Nice job, Rachel. We might see this next comedian up in the hot tub. His great-grandfather is French author Frédéric Bastiat. And this is Alex Bastiat. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody, for Alex.
A while back, there's supposed to be this huge snowstorm that was set to just devastate the United States. So the government comes out and they say, we are going to stop this snowstorm. We have to do everything we can to stop this snowstorm. Why did they want to stop this snowstorm so badly? I'll tell you. The government wanted to stop the snowstorm because they did not want us all to become snowed in. Become snowed. All right, that joke wasn't that good. And I know for a fact that all the federal agents on your cell phones listening in right now, they didn't think it was that good either. But Porcfest, I want to know, are you doing good tonight? Make some noise. Yes. All right. So I'm Alex Bastiat. That's the stage name that I use when I do comedy. And I have different stage names depending on what I'm doing. So when I'm in my band playing music, I go by the stage name The Antidote. When I was doing porn, I had a different stage name. Yes, it was considered controversial. My stage name when I was doing porn was Active Shooter. Think about it. Oddly enough, the biggest issue that people had was not the name Active Shooter, but the biggest issue that they had was that I was called Active Shooter and I only filmed my sex scenes during mass shootings. I know, but you have to understand, porn is very competitive these days. I had to do what I had to do to make it in the industry, guys. I might have gone too far with that joke. I apologize, Porcfest. Are we okay? We okay? Do I need to call anyone? All right, we're good, we're good. But no, I'm really happy to be playing at Porcfest in the Live Free or Die state. I've been wanting to play for a while, and I kept sending Porcfest messages, saying, come on, book me or die. Right, yeah, see, they thought it was funny. I tried saying book me or die to a couple other states that I wanted to play in, like California, New York. I did not get the same response. They told me that I was being added to their watch list. Added to your watch list? That's great. Now people will know to watch me, right? It wasn't that kind of watch list, guys. It's actually the kind of watch list that you do not want to be added to. I know a lot of you Porcfest people here, you know what I'm talking about. We won't get into that, though. How many of you are here originally born and raised in New Hampshire? Make some noise. All right. And how many of you are from another state coming to New Hampshire? Make some noise. All right, all right. Good, good. See, that's what we're all about at the Free State Project, right? We're about, refugees, right? Fleeing from their more tyrannical states to come to the free state of New Hampshire. I'm just really grateful that we have an opportunity like that here in the United States, because, as you know, a lot of other countries around the world, a lot of other people don't have it as easy as we do. There's people out there like Yeonmi Park, and if you don't know her, she originally grew up in North Korea as a young girl, and she escaped from North Korea and came to the United States. She was on Joe Rogan's podcast not so long ago talking about what it was like growing up there, under tyranny and the brutality and everything she witnessed. It was really intense, heartbreaking even. And it just made me realize even more that we should not take for granted the freedoms that we have here in the United States. And I'll say that we still, right now, have here in the United States, for now. And more importantly, we also shouldn't be taking for granted what we are trying to do here in New Hampshire with building the Free State Project. Right. Because I want you to just think for a moment what it would be like if all the other states in the United States right now were like it was in North Korea, like it is in North Korea. Could you imagine if you had to literally flee and escape from your state to get to New Hampshire? I know Kurt Russell made it look really easy when he escaped from Los Angeles to New York back in the 80s and 90s, but you have to remember, people, those were just movies, okay? This is real life. We're doing this in real life here, all right? No Snake Plissken fans in the audience? No Kurt Russell fans? We got a couple? All right. I bet we have some cryptocurrency fans in the audience. Cryptocurrency? We like cryptocurrency? Right. Yeah, because libertarians, we like cryptocurrency. But there's a lot of people out there that actually still do not like cryptocurrency. Like her, right. Maybe she wrote the angry article that I was reading the other day about it. They were trying to say, they were comparing Bitcoin to Beanie Babies. Do you guys remember Beanie Babies? Right, it was hilarious. She remembers them, yeah. So they're comparing Bitcoin to Beanie Babies. And I guess what the reasoning was is that Bitcoin gives an unfair advantage to people that invested and found out about it and invested in it early on, whereas opposed to people that didn't get to find out about it till later, did not get to participate in the advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a biologist, but that's just the definition of a good investment, right? You invest early in something that you believe in and support, and you're rewarded for it. Now, on that note, what I wanted to say next, and it's not really about cryptocurrency though, I wanted to tell you one really important thing today. I hate politicians. There's no punchline, I just wanted to get that out there. I hate politicians. I do, however, have a favorite president. That would be William Henry Harrison. A lot of you are like, who? That's the usual response, so let me tell you about William Henry Harrison. He's most famous for being the president that served the shortest term in office at just 31 days in office. That was because he got sick with pneumonia and then became the first president to die in office. Right. A lot of firsts for William Henry Harrison, right? Now, if I had to describe him, if I had to sum him up, I would say that he was a baller, and he pretty much just flexed on everybody all the time. I'll give you some examples, all right? When he was running for president, his opponents came out and they attacked him. They said, William Henry Harrison, you can't be president because all you do all day is you sit in your log cabin and drink hard cider. That is not presidential material, William. So William Henry Harrison comes out the next day and he says, guess what? I've adopted 2 new symbols for my campaign. A log cabin and a bottle of hard cider. Flex! Yes. He then went on to write a song about all his flexing during his service in the military. It was called Tippy Canoe and Tyler 2. I never heard it, but apparently it was a fucking banger because he then won the presidential election in a landslide victory, like a baller. Flex! Then he continued his flexing by having the longest inaugural address speech of any president at 2 hours long. Also, it was all outdoors, it was cold, wet, pouring down rain, and against his advisor's wishes, he did not wear a hat, not wear an overcoat. He rode around on a horse instead of in a covered carriage. And then he had a huge party. Everybody, flex! Right. So then, his advisors say, all right, William, you're the president now. There's still some opposing party members that are in office that could sabotage your presidency if you do not kick them out of office. William Henry Harrison says, I will resign before I will be guilty of such an iniquity. Translation, he was not afraid of his opponents. Instead, he had another huge party. Flex! Now, keep in mind, this is all less than 30 days he's in office, and all he's been fucking doing is partying and flexing on everyone, right? Now his advisors are really concerned. They come up, they're like, William, please, you're the president now, you cannot be behaving like this. You can't just be partying and flexing on everyone all day. You have to get your shit together in the White House. William Henry Harrison hears them, he listens to them, and he says, you know what? Fuck that, I'm having more parties instead. Everybody, flex! Yes! But then, however, he has his next party, he starts feeling really, really sick. So the doctors come in, they take one look at him and they're like, dude, you got pneumonia. Because for 2 hours, you were outside flexing on everyone in the cold rain, you did not wear your hat, you did not wear your overcoat, and you rode around on a horse instead of you rode around in a covered carriage like we advised you not to. You are going to die, William. We're sorry. No flex on that one, Porcfest. No flex. But then, he's on his deathbed, right? Everyone's there. His last words to everybody are, I wish for you to understand the true principles of government and to carry them out, and I ask nothing more. Everybody, one more time. Flex! Right. Now, you're probably asking yourselves, wondering, okay, so he flexed on everybody all the time. Does that really make him the greatest president? No, it doesn't. But what made William Henry Harrison the greatest president is that he got elected, he partied all the time, he did not do shit, and then he died. That is what I want to see with all of our presidents. I want them to do nothing, and I want them to die. Porcfest, I'm Alex Bastiat. It's been an honor. Live free or die, and everybody flex! Thank you. Thanks, Don.
Yeah. Next up to the stage, you've seen him here at Porcfest. I've seen him many times perform at the show. Welcome, Dan Rothschild.
Thank you. Happy Pride Month, everyone. Yeah. I'm not gay myself. Sorry, ladies. But, thank you. I met a woman. She goes, I'm really sexually attracted to you. I go, really? She goes, yeah, I'm a sapiosexual. So I ask, what's a sapiosexual? She goes, never mind. I'm not sexually attracted to you anymore. A woman had to tell me what mansplaining is. I asked a friend of mine if he liked the movie Gaslight. He goes, I've never seen it. I said, yeah, you have. You just don't remember.
Get the mic closer to your mouth.
Oh. Whoops. Hello? Yeah. Sorry about that. A lot of libertarians out there. A lot of conspiracy ones, you know. I'm not one myself, but like one of these ones went up to me and said, don't tell me you're one of these people who believes we've landed on the moon. I go, don't tell me you're one of these people who believe the moon exists. A lot of biblical expressions in the Bible, and a lot of them are stupid bullshit, I've noticed. Like, follow the golden rule, you know, and I've tried to follow the golden rule myself, but I've noticed through past experience that a lot of people don't like being treated the way I would like to be treated. Like, there are people out there that like it when people pour hot wax on their genitals. These are people who probably shouldn't follow the golden rule. I'm just saying, the golden rule does not apply to you. Or another one is you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, let's say you hate yourself. You know, you'll see the story on the news, some guy murdered his neighbor, you know, and afterwards he's like, hey man, how could you murder your neighbor? Didn't you, know the biblical expression, love your neighbor as you love yourself? Well, I'm suicidal, so I did. You know, and, you know, a lot of mass shooters, they follow the golden rule or treat people the way they want to be treated, because a lot of them end in suicide. They're probably thinking, I want to be killed by a mass shooter. I just assume everyone else does as well. I don't even really want to do it myself, but no one else is stepping up to the plate. So to quote Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. One more time for Dan, everybody. Yeah. All right, next up to the stage, everybody. You've seen him here at Porcfest. He's the Soapbox Idol champion last year. I've seen him perform open for professional comedians. Give a big round of applause. Bill Barger. Hey, Bill.
Who wants to start an abortion clinic with me? No, I'm not even kidding. You guys all saw the whole Supreme Court thing? Abortion, they're gonna make it a states' rights issue or whatever. I'm telling you, now is the time to get into that industry. It's like the weed industry, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We're gonna have abortion tourism in no time. Beyond that, honestly, I wanna get into the abortion industry because, well, two reasons. First, there's a lot of money in that industry. Second, there's a lot of pussy in that industry. A lot of pussy. I mean, seriously, okay. Common joke, picking up chicks outside the abortion clinic. That's for amateurs. Picking up chicks inside the abortion clinic, that's for doctors. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. My girlfriend says if I get her pregnant, she's having an abortion no matter what, like 100%. Like, okay, fine. If you're doing that, though, just don't tell me about it, all right? You know, if you're getting an abortion, I don't have any say in the matter. I don't want to know. She said, what, don't you want to help me pay for it? I said, no, I don't want to help you pay for it. That's the point of the abortion. Women. It's like they don't understand what our money's for. Oh, man. You know, I've been thinking, my biggest problem with abortion is not that it exists, is that it's strictly medicinal right now. Like, you have to have symptoms. You know, like nausea, vomiting, headaches. But we're looking at 3 to 5 years. Hopefully it should be recreational. Maybe not New Hampshire, maybe Massachusetts, just like slightly legalized in New Hampshire. Yeah, abortion. You guys want more abortion jokes? Yes. All right. I got them. So, I think the libertarian position on abortion is not that it should be legal. That's, it's a big debate in the libertarian community. It's not that abortion should be legal. It's that it's none of the government's business how many abortions I plant in my backyard. Oh, God, I'm going to hell. Not because of the abortion jokes, it's the devil's lettuce. That's what happens. This too could be you after just one marijuana. After just one marijuana. Oh, man. So, I was thinking, like, to get late-term abortions, you gotta be the ultimate procrastinator. I mean, I get it. I was supposed to get my car inspected in November. Yeah. But, like, imagine getting pulled over. You left the bar, a couple months pregnant, had a few drinks, get pulled over and having to explain to that officer, well, Becky went through a really bad breakup and it's been busy at work and my cat died and it's just been really hard and I just keep putting it off, but I am gonna get that abortion soon, officer. And usually I don't feel bad for the cops, but that poor officer has to arrest that dumb pregnant bitch. Oh, what do you guys, don't you like pregnant people? Birthing persons, I should say. Oh, man. Yeah, birthing persons! No, abortion, I think it's weird. Abortion's become so prevalent in our culture. There's like whole terms around it. Like there's like figures of speech. Like you guys are familiar, I'm sure you heard somebody say, "Oh my God, girl, slay!" Yeah, they're talking about abortion. Like, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna feel so good, you're gonna be so hot, you're gonna kill it. So, I've got 11 siblings. So my parents obviously very, very pro-life. I got 12 kids, all accidents. I am the tallest by 6 inches, which makes me their biggest mistake by a long shot. It's funny, people always say, "Oh, it must be so nice being tall. The top shelf. Must be so nice being small. The trunk of my car." I'm the only person I know who has to do human origami just to get into my car. It's like getting ready to drive is the most complicated move out of the Kama Sutra. Somehow my dick always ends up through the steering wheel. My knees are behind my head. I'm so tall that I have to duck to brush my teeth. Because the mirror ends here. I'm so tall I can't even 69 anymore. Somehow it goes right to 70 and we just end up watching a movie. I'm so tall I have to use extensions for my wireless earphones. Yeah. Do you guys know what sound a koala makes? Depends on how you fuck it. What do you get when you cross a human with a koala? What'd you say?
I said I think that was going on in your tent site 80 last night. I don't know.
Oh, I heard that. Weird sounds those koalas make. No, but unfortunately for whoever is at tent site 80, what you get when you cross a human with a koala is chlamydia. Fun fact, 100% of koalas have chlamydia. Apparently they're sluts. I don't know. What else? So COVID happened recently. Oh no, I'll say, we don't want to talk about COVID. Fuck COVID, all right. Fuck COVID. Fuck COVID. Yeah, fuck COVID. COVID is over for the last 2 years. It never existed. Doubt you got it though. Finally. Okay, so all right, I got some shorter jokes for you. What did the pilot say when he's trying to crash land his helicopter? Kobe. Poor Kobe. Can't believe he died of COVID. Him and George Floyd. Oh man, it's fucked up, but I heard the only reason that COVID deaths are so high is because they're including police killings of black people. So, people keep telling me I sound like Paul Walker, which makes me want to die in a horrible accident. People keep telling me I'm from the 50s. I think it's the way I treat women. Right. Chivalry was alive and well in the 50s, but you know what else was? Beating your wife. Oh, man. Yep, life is good in New Hampshire, though. I've spent a lot of time in other states, and it's like this is the only state where you can go around. People there's stores that take Bitcoin and stuff. Although at least right now, if you're looking at Bitcoin, it's like Bitcoin's dying or something. I don't know. I used to think before Bitcoin hits $1 million, I want 1 Bitcoin. Now I'm like, before Bitcoin hits $1, I want 1 million of them. I'm gonna be a millionaire from Bitcoin. I'm gonna fucking do it. If it goes to 0 and I have to get billions and billions, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll be the last Bitcoin miner. Oh man. You guys are a great audience. These aren't notes, these are dick pics, so just, yeah. I love gingers. Because gingers are the only minority you can still just blatantly shit on. I fucking hate gingers. My girlfriend is schizophrenic, and it's hard. When I kiss her goodnight, it's like, good night, I love you, and you, and you, and you, and all your personalities. I told that joke the other day, and somebody got upset. Like, hey, it is never okay to make fun of people with mental illness. And I said, my girlfriend's not mentally ill. All of her personalities are 100% sane. I think anyone who contracts the flu should be shot. You heard me. I said anyone who contracts the flu should be shot, and anyone with a small penis should be hung. Like this, not like this. I got that backwards the other day. I said, I think anyone who contracts the flu should be hung, anyone with a small penis should be shot. And the audience was very upset. Like, very upset. Like, a lot of small dicks and sick people in that crowd. I would like to point out that that would still solve at least one of my life's problems. I hate getting the flu every year. It makes me want to kill myself. Yep. My friend said he wanted to pay a girl to humiliate him. And so he's like, yeah, so I found this random girl. I said, hey, I'll give you $20 if you humiliate me. So she took the $20 and walked away. Girls are pro. You know, I tried to give him a hard time about that, but you can't kink shame the guy. He's into it. I heard a similar thing happen to a guy with a small penis. He flew all the way to Texas to spend the weekend with a dominatrix, right? And he got there, and after an hour, she left, took all his money and left him there in a Texas town 1,000 miles from home with nothing to do. And you know, I wouldn't have flown that far to get some pussy, but I guess sometimes a little dick goes a long way. You know, they say everything's bigger in Texas, but not for that guy. Since when is it so offensive to assume somebody's gender? Gone are the days when you could say to a beautiful woman, excuse me, may I call you miss? Now you have to say, excuse me, may I call you miss? And then she says, it's ma'am! Honestly, I'd be offended if somebody didn't assume my gender. Thank you very much, guys. You've been a great audience.
All right, keep it going for Bill and all the comedians you heard tonight. Thank you. Have fun. I'll see you around.